Hi guys, welcome to the Sister Wives podcast. Today it is Money Monday.
Woo!
And we're talking about our next tip, which is going to be tracking our expenses. So Shawn, can you tell us how and why we track our expenses?
This is our third take of this, and I keep answering the questions incorrectly. She has them written out, and she'll ask me how, and I answer why. So we tried it again. She asked me why, and I answered how. So now she's combined it.
So you're gonna answer?
No. The how and the why. We track our expenses. How? We do it in a Google tracking sheet. So I built a spreadsheet that we can input all of our expenses in and all of our income in. And we have it broken up by month. What that allows us to do is we'll see each month how much profit we've had. So if you take your income minus your expenses, we're going to call that profit. We try to increase that number every month. And the reason being is just it helps us not just blow money on stupid stuff. The reason why we do it plays into that. You guys know we do rental properties, so we put money aside for that. We put money into the business, which is real estate. That's how and why. So
Yeah. The Google Doc or spreadsheet thing isn't really it's not anything fancy. I mean, it is. It looks like it'd be fancy, but it's really not anything that you guys couldn't do. It's literally just writing down what all of your expenses are. So the way it's set up is on one half of the sheet, we input everything we buy, literally everything. Shawn is not the best at inputting his stuff.
I can build a spreadsheet really well, real nice
but actually following through with things, which is a lot of what our dynamic is. He's really good at building things and making this vision and this pretty picture, and then I just have to do the work.
The implementation.
Yeah.
She's the closer, the implementer, the follow-through person.
Yeah, that's me.
I'm Coach Shawn.
Self-proclaimed. Anyway, and then the other half of it is just our income. So, literally, you could write it in a little notebook, because I've been kind of doing relatively the same thing but for health. So I write down every little thing that I eat, and then I write down my PRs for when I work out. It's literally in a notebook that is this size, as big as my face, and my face is not that big.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway,
the good thing about the spreadsheets is that either one of us can open it up on our phones or our computers. If she's out by herself and she's going to buy groceries or something, she can just input that number there. If she gets gas, we can collaborate on it. Another good thing is she mentioned the notebook. It's easy for me to go in, and we have automatic payments that are taken out of our accounts for bills. We don't think about those, so once a month I'll go through and add all of those to the spreadsheet, and then I can just sort it by the date. And it'll automatically put them in sequential order for me instead of me going back in my notebook and making it all sloppy.
Yeah, he likes it to be neat. And so
sometimes sloppy.
How it has helped, though, I think it has helped, because I personally now get anxiety when I have to put something into our expense report thing that's just that's not technically needed. And I don't want people to think that Shawn scares her into thinking that she's not allowed to use money and she's not allowed to buy things. But I'm now everything that I do, I have to come face to face. I'm is this getting closer to our goals? Is me buying these 2 for $24 leggings with Fabletics gonna help me in the long run? So I bought 2 for $24 leggings, and I seriously considered canceling the order because I was I really don't need these. I have plenty of leggings, and so
a little, I guess, mindset shift for that is if you read the book, I think it's Automatic Millionaire. If you read that book, it talks about how much money your time is worth. So if you make $20 an hour at your job and you're buying Fabletics leggings, how much were they?
2 for $24.
2 for $24. You have to work. That is equal to 1.25 hours of your life to trade for that. Most people say that's worth it. Just something to think about. So when you go out and buy your $500 weekend drinking splurge that you go on, that's basically a week's worth of pay. Like, you trade your whole week to go out and get drunk with your friends. To us, that's not worth it, but it's just a mindset shift.
And then finally, why I know a lot of people are thinking like, well, why would I need to track my expenses when I'm not trying to invest or not trying to save money for something like that? Obviously, I think everyone is of the opinion that tracking your money and just being conscious of it is not a bad thing. Like, it's definitely going to help you, like, because everyone's saving for something.
Not going to go.
Oh, okay.
You're on your own, bud.
We're driving, for those that aren't watching the video. But yeah, so I just feel like even if you don't have some grand investing plan that you want to do, that just tracking your money will at least make you aware of where it's going. Because there are times, like, before we started tracking, we were like, how are we broke this month? Like, we just didn't know, like, what happened to our money. Like, literally,
like,
where
we
did
made
it go?
$7,000. Where did it all go?
Right. And then now that we're tracking, we're like, oh, we went out to eat a lot this month, or
oh, we got hit with that bill, or this bill.
Yeah. Like, it just makes you aware, and it will either be like, oh, I need to stop that habit, or it makes you feel better, like, oh, I'm not just casually throwing money away.
Yeah.
So
we also categorize all of our spending. So we'll do like personal, which just is a general spending. We'll do real estate. We'll do restaurants. We separate that out from groceries. So we'll track how much groceries we're doing, how much, I guess, repairs and gas and stuff that go into a truck expense category. That way, when we look at the end of the year, we can say, oh shit, we have spent, I don't know, $6,000 on going out to eat, which is crazy. And you're like, well, I didn't even think I spent that much money. It's only $20 a week, which won't equate to that much, but yeah.
So don't freak out, guys.
Also, a good way to do it, so let's say you're not into investing. You don't really care. You're like, why do I need to have a tracker? It can work for any, I guess, quote-unquote investment. So an investment can be you want to save up for a new car, or you want to be proactive on your car payments or your mortgage or your rent. So what you can do is, so say it's a vacation. You need to save up $800 for that vacation. Instead of being reactive and putting on your credit card last minute, what you can do is start building out your tracker and seeing where all your money's going, and then start cutting out things that are, in your mind, less important than the trip you're about to go on, and spend time with your family, your friends, or your significant other, because then maybe you'll start taking your lunch to work every day instead of going out and spending $15 a day, because that's less important than the trip that you're going to get to go on with your family. Just mindset shifts. I think you need to have a goal of why to do it. Otherwise, you're not going to be consistent with it. Yeah. Have a goal. Have something that you want to do versus something that you need to do. Obviously, you need to invest for your future. That's not very motivating to people. So make your goal that you're going to track money and save for something you want to do. That way you build up that habit.
Yeah. And another, I guess, like, if you are interested in even slightly tracking your expenses, The Compound Effect is like such a good book. Like, everyone should read it just in general, like in life. But if you are considering about tracking your expenses,
if you're considering life, you should read The Compound Effect.
Yeah, and I'll link to it in the blog post and into the YouTube notes for the video. And also, our freebie is going to be...
Ding, ding. I'm going to give you all my infamous Google Sheets.
Infamous,
my tracking.
That's not the word you want to use.
Infamous.
No.
Means it's infamous. And track to being famous. Now that I have presented on the podcast, it shall be famous.
Yep, so you guys are going to get that little treat. Hopefully you guys use it. I think it's super helpful for us. Like I said, we've definitely saved a lot of more money and are way more mindful of our spending now. So
what's cool for us about it, or what I think is cool about it, is every month, like I mentioned, we try to beat the previous month. So the way I have it set up is, if in January you save $100, but the next month it'll show that $100 on a bar graph. So the next month you save $125. Beside that month, it'll say you beat the previous month by 25%. And then if you do it again, so it's $160. It's gonna say you beat the last one by 25%, and you can keep saying, "Oh, I gotta keep trying to build that up." It's kind of like if you're building a habit, you mark it on the calendar every day that you do it. You exit off every single day you do it. You don't want to go the next day without doing it because it's going to ruin your streak. So it's kind of gamifying it so that you're more driven to do it.
Yeah. Basically, he's just trying to make it a habit.
A habit.
But yeah.
Stunt like my habits.
That's all we have for now. And we'll see you next Monday for our next money hack or Money Monday, whatever we're going to call it.
Millennial Wealth Secrets.
Bye.